Hey, good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture. Join us as we delve into our individual mental health and overall mental health of our community. From the latest trends to the timeless coping mechanisms, we'll showcase the best of what it means to be mentally healthy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel the vibrations of Black excellence. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, hey sis.
Hey.
Happy Monday. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations. Not only is it Monday, but it is the first day of Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yay.
That's why I got my green on. What's up, yes?
Oh, you probably seeing because of my thing at the bottom.
Oh. Yes. Big shout out to my sister. Period. She officially done her classes. Okay. About to get that BS real quick. Okay. That Bachelor of Science. Don't play with a degree coming low and soon. Okay. Hey, biggest.
Hello.
So yes, it is Monday. It is May 1st. My birthday in 7 days. I do take cash apps, Venmo.
Who's out?
What
you keep out? We loud.
I'm excited, big exclusive. I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm loud, but I'm excited, sister. So yes, hey Hannibal, my birthday in 7 days, just saying May 8th, you know, it's on a Monday, so I'm gonna be here with y'all doing a podcast, maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm not making any promises. But yes, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Green is our color, and it is also the birthstone for the month of May. So hey, Tracy, thank you for joining us. Hey, Deandra. Everybody, shout out to Deandra, who is the host of Unlatch. Her show comes on Fridays at 9 p.m. Make sure you tune in. Make sure we show her some love. Make sure you share and you like every time you get on any of these shows that are on the network. So, yes, if you are on here, please tag everybody in that you can. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whatever. Make sure you're sharing this live stream. So today we are actually going to talk postpartum. And now that I have a co-host, I don't have to do so much. So my sister going to take over at some point this evening, and she is going to tell you all what she knows about postpartum, given that she just had to do a project on it, her final project for school. So we're going to get started as we always do. Of course, we're going to start with our grounding technique. You guys know I am everything melanated, everything for people that look like us. So I'm actually going to share my screen, and we are going to do some Black guided meditation. Because why wouldn't we do that on Melanated Vibrations? So let's share our screen. And we're going to do this for a few minutes.
And help you to feel seen and valued just as you are. New meditation every Monday. There is so much that can contribute to the stress we experience. Circumstances going on in the world and in our country, in our families, and in our personal lives. Situations we feel unable to control or impact. Things that we wish were different and regrets we may have. Our minds and bodies can be full of chatter and tension. Right now, we will lean into rest and a sense of calm relief. You are not alone. Sit or lie down in a position that feels comfortable. Close your eyes or lower your gaze. Rest your hands on your lap or by your sides. Take a moment to relax your body as best as you can. Gently soften any tension in your body that you can identify. In this meditation, we will be using breath as our anchor, always aware of it and always returning to it. Your mind may wander and the chatter may distract you. Without any judgment, gently return to your anchor, your breath. Your only task right now is to be fully present with your breath. Breathe naturally and simply notice your breath and how it feels. Pay attention to how your breath feels as it flows in and out of your nose. You might feel coolness or heat. Notice your nostrils and upper lip as your breath passes by. Notice your chest and abdomen as they rise and fall with each breath. Bring awareness to other parts of your body as your lungs expand with the in-breath and deflate with the out-breath. Normally, much of the time, we tend to take shallow breaths. Shifting from task to task and being impacted by so many things can quite literally cause us to hold our breath. See what it feels like to breathe a little deeper in this moment.
Okay. I think that was a good place to stop. I love Black guided meditation. So yes, we will definitely be doing more of that. I do that with you guys, but it's always good to know that there are videos out there where there are people that sound like us, that look like us, that are doing these type of grounding techniques. So as always, I will set my intention. I'm bringing into this space unity. It feels good to have a co-host, someone that is as educated as I am, and is an expert in her own rights, that can share knowledge with you guys. She is, part of the family now, so I'm very excited. So I'm bringing unity into the space. Sis, what are you bringing?
The happiest person on earth right now. Relaxation.
Yeah.
I ain't stressed no more. Zen. I'm bringing it Zen. We'll say Zen.
Zen is good. So again, for everyone that just joined, make sure that you are sharing the post, tagging as many people as you can, tag all your friends. What is everyone else bringing into this space? I am curious to know. Yes, curiosity. It's a good one, big exclusive. I almost want to know, what are you curious about? How's Atlanta, big exclusive? Like, how's that going? Well, not Atlanta, but you in Georgia. How's Georgia? How's that going for you? Do you like it? Are they treating you good? Because I'm curious. I'm curious to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was your day, sis?
Deflation. I had to, because I woke up. Oh, we miss you too.
Don't hate it. You're doing it for the bigger cause.
Sorry.
Yes, Jocelyn. Hey, thank you for joining. Listening ears. I love it. An open mind. Hey, First Lass.
I am deflating today because I woke up thinking I had to do homework, and I almost forgot that I don't have to do homework anymore.
Oh yeah, you're gonna experience that.
I have to like come off a high. It's almost like coming down off of drugs.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna experience that for a good minute. I'm just letting you know.
Really?
I didn't go through it. Let me just put that out there. But I know.
Hey, thank you.
But I know classmates of mine that went through that, like that panic and that fear, like, oh wait, I had an assignment that was due. Oh wait, I think I missed. Yeah, I had a few classmates that went through that. Not my experience because I couldn't wait to be done with either degree. I was over it. I was like, oh my God, if I never turn in another paper again, I'd be okay with it. But here I am talking about next year. I'm probably gonna try to apply for a PhD program. So
yeah, we're definitely doing this.
Yeah. So I don't want to be an overachiever. Lord Jesus, my day was just a lot. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Me and Jose about to have a conversation. Let's see if y'all can see me in the camera. See, and that's what I'm saying. We gonna have a conversation because right. Yeah. So we're gonna have a conversation because it's been a day. That's all I got. I haven't poured mine yet, but it's been a day. Okay. Being a supervisor is ghetto. If you are not one, please don't sign up for it because it'd be a lot. It's a lot of little fires that you put out on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, that's all I got. It's been a very stressful day, and I'm just here to get my mental health together with y'all. Okay, so that is that. So I guess we will dive into postpartum. So what is postpartum? So postpartum means the time after childbirth. Oh wait, no, put her comment back up.
I sure do have PTSD. I woke up sweating and clawing. Swear to God. I was like, oh, it's an assignment. It's 11:59. I was like, wait a minute.
You gotta get herself together.
I gotta get together.
I told her to go sit on somebody's couch. It just can't be my couch. And for some reason she didn't, little sisters, they don't listen. She thought that's what I meant. Mm-hmm.
She got it.
Yeah. So I guess I'm technically obligated to listen. So yes, we went and celebrated a little bit this weekend, but my birthday party's this weekend, so we're gonna go celebrate some more. We about to be lit. So we about to be celebrating a whole bunch of things. So all right. So postpartum means the time after birth. Now, what I did not know, and I learned that there are 3 different things that are encompassed in postpartum. So you have what is called baby blues, postpartum depression, and postpartum psychosis, which was a new one for me. So baby blues symptoms. So baby blues, these symptoms last a few days to a week or 2 after the baby is born. These symptoms may include mood swings, anxiety, sadness, irritability, feeling overwhelmed, crying, reduced concentration, appetite problems, and trouble sleeping. The next one would be probably the most obvious one that you all have heard of before. It's postpartum depression. So postpartum depression may be mistaken for a baby blues at first, but the symptoms are more intense and last longer. These may eventually interfere with your ability to care for your baby and handle other daily tasks. Symptoms usually develop within the first few weeks after giving birth, but they may begin earlier during pregnancy or later up to a year after birth. Postpartum depression symptoms may include depressed mood or severe mood swings, crying too much, difficulty bonding with your baby, withdrawing from family and friends, loss of appetite or eating much more than usual, inability to sleep, insomnia, or sleeping too much, overwhelming tiredness or loss of energy, less interest in pleasurable activities you used to enjoy. That's the part of the depression part. When they say postpartum depression, that is a symptom of depression. Fear that you're not a good mother, hopelessness, feeling of worthlessness, shame, guilt, or inadequacy. Reduced ability to think clearly, concentrate, or make decisions. Restlessness, severe anxiety, and panic attacks. Thoughts of harming yourself or your baby, and reoccurring thoughts of death or suicide. And I want to pause right there because Of course, the symptoms were way more in postpartum depression than they were in baby blues. And I can't imagine a woman, and let me be very clear when I say this, a Black woman, because that is why we're doing this. A Black woman, a new mother, or a second time mother, third mother, whatever, whenever this occurs, I can't imagine a person going through all of this at once with a newborn who they are in charge of taking care of, but you do not want to be around the child. You are irritable. You can't sleep. You're not bonding with your baby. You're not thinking clearly. You're even thinking about harming this child. You're thinking about harming yourself. It saddens me to know that there are women that suffer from this on a daily basis. And at whatever the statistic is for how many women give birth every second, it saddens me to know that there are so many women, especially Black and brown women, that suffer with this that go untreated. And so the other part of that was untreated postpartum depression may last for many months or longer. So a woman can have this and not even know that she has it. The last thing is postpartum psychosis. So postpartum psychosis, which this is a new for me, with postpartum psychosis, a rare condition that usually develops within the first week after delivery. The symptoms are severe. Symptoms may include feeling confused or lost, having obsessive thoughts about your baby, hallucinating and having delusions, having sleep problems, having too much energy and feeling upset, feeling paranoid, and making attempts to harm yourself or your baby. Postpartum psychosis may lead to a life-threatening thought or behavior and requires immediate treatment. So my sister and I decided to do this today because, again, this was part of her project that she just finished. But it is important because I think a lot of times as Black and brown women, we go untreated before birth and after we have a child. I think I talked about this on the show before, but this is just something that we know, right? Black women aren't allowed to be in pain. It's nothing wrong with us. They think we're so strong that when we are crying out for help and we're telling them, hey, I feel this, I'm having these type of thoughts, it's just like, oh, it comes with being a new mom. You just got to shake it off. You got to, instead of taking what we're saying serious. And I think a lot of the times that is what happens when it comes to women that suffer from postpartum. One of my goals, what I would like to do, in addition to what my sister would like to do, is I have a rec center at the corner of my block. And if not this year, next year, one of my goals is to run a postpartum group for women, specifically for Black women, to have a safe space where they can come and be in a group with other mothers to see that they are not alone and provide whatever resources we can provide, whether that is individual therapy, whether that is help if they just need like an hour or two a day to themselves, whatever it is. I think that as a community, it is our responsibility to wrap ourselves around new moms. It's hard being a mother. It's hard being a first-time mother. Your body is going through all these changes, your hormone imbalance, you're all over the place. And then to throw postpartum on top of that, where you literally are thinking about harming yourself. Hey, Will, happy Monday. You're thinking about, hey, thank you, Tiff, as always. You're literally thinking, thank you. Happy early birthday. Yes. Deandra, so you understand, right? Hey, Roy. It's a lot. Tranquility. Yes. I love it. It can be a lot on a new mom, right? So your boys are 1 year apart. I was going through it and got pregnant again while going through it, and I had it while having my wife.
Yeah, you can have a double time, they tell you.
And that I can't imagine, like mentally, the strain that puts on a woman. Again, specifically a Black woman, because when we're crying out for help, it is not acknowledged. Even when you have a partner there to help, it's like it's literally nothing they can do.
There's nothing they can do.
It's nothing they can do. It's like something that you just have to go through. And we hear all these stories, right, all the time, like the women that drowned a baby or killed a baby, or we cry out for help, but again, we're not taken serious because it's like, oh, you got this, like pain, you fine, ain't nothing wrong with you. And so Black women go untreated for so long and never actually get the help that they need. So sis, this is your area of expertise, given that you just did a recent project on it. I'll let you have the floor. I'm going to pour me a drink.
So I did a project about basically my class was nonprofit management. I'm gonna start there. It was basically about building your own nonprofit program, program implementation, who sponsors it, the people that are behind it, the philanthropists, the corporate people, government funding, revenue, income, all of that. So you have to take all of that into account. So with my project, since I had postpartum so bad, I decided to do postpartum. I've done it in the past, but I've never made a program off of it. So I decided to do a postpartum program because I felt like for Black women, it's not enough. Now, it's been almost 12 years since I had a baby, but I still feel like the same thing just hasn't changed. We still don't have enough help for women. I didn't know what the psychosis was. I thought that I just had postpartum. At the time, I had already studied some of mental health anyway, so I knew that it was something wrong. I just didn't know it was going to be postpartum. I thought it was going to be baby blues or something like that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to just have these blues. And, you know, like transparency, I had a C-section, but I went into physical labor before they cut me open. So before they cut you open and your body goes into labor, it's like your body, it's like being ran over by 3 trucks at one time. So you feel the pain through labor, but when they cut you open, you feel that as well. So I still had like pain from labor from like stomach on down as if I had a baby, but I also felt the C-section scar as well. So nothing went right. Everything went wrong. So I was pissed about that. The doctor came up and was like, well, we checked the baby. When she came out, we both had infections. I think my temperature was 105. I think hers was like 103 or something like that coming out. So she had to have a spinal tap in her spinal cord to be tested for meningitis. They wasn't sure if she had it from the infection of me and her. So I were getting like real lethargic. I couldn't like keep my head up. I was like, something's wrong. So the doctor just was like, you know, I know you don't want to have this as your story, but he was like, I got to. He was like, but I'm taking a baby and I'm not arguing with you anymore. So they took her out. They rushed her to, she spent like 7 days in NICU to make sure she didn't have jaundice and a infection. And she was considered premature, but we had an infection. It's a very long name, but I can't remember. It's like the birthing canal, you get an infection in your birthing canal and you'll have an infection and they have to give you fluids to like basically like push it out and stuff like that. So he had to be in a NICU, but all I remember them telling me was like, you know, your child has to be in the NICU and ... I feel like if you have a doula is there for support. I didn't have a good partner at that time. So there was nobody to support. My mom, she had went home. My sister went home. They had been there all day. So I'm like, I can call them on the phone, but they weren't really a good partner. They just froze. So they tell you that. I feel like doulas and midwives are very important in that story, because then they would have been like, okay, we're going to be fine. We're going to get through it. We're going to just go through this and the baby's going to get, like, you need somebody to tell you like, hey, you're going to get better. I'm like, I know I'm a Black woman. Why am I like suffering this sad depression? And instead of like getting up and having energy, I didn't have energy. I didn't see my baby until like the next day, because I was so high and messed up, and she was too, that I wasn't able to like see her. So I didn't even know what she looked like until he pointed her to me. So that was like another trigger for me. And then by the time I had her, she had colic because of everything that happened. If people don't know what colic is not the night air like the old people tell you. Colic is trapped gas. It's almost like reflex, like GERD and reflex. And it's bad indigestion. Hey, it's really bad indigestion within the baby's system. So yes, yeah, you're young. You don't know. I was into God, but I wasn't as prayer as I was now. So it was like hard. I had kind of took a break from God. I was like, I just could not get it together. And the colic, they said, I did research years ago. They said the colic brings the postpartum as well, because the baby is hey,
Lamit.
And the baby,
we gotta get with Angry OG so we can get our shirts. Angry OG, I'm gonna text you after the podcast.
So the baby has bad. What the baby does is the baby cries at least 4 days straight. You will deal with that for the first 4 months of your baby being born. They'll just cry and cry and cry. The only time she would stop crying is when my mom would come home from work, and then she would take her. And then she would be like, all right, if she lay with me, maybe that'll be better. Maybe I could she had that grandma. And then my sister would come over because she lived next door. And she would be like, oh, let me just figure it out. One day I just could not get it together. I just bust out crying. I called the nurse. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Is something wrong? And she was just like, are there people around you? I said, it's just me and the baby. She said, put the baby down, put her in the crib. I put her in the crib. She said, crack the door, walk out the room. She said, there's nothing wrong if you do this. She said, walk out the room and sit outside the room for a minute. I know she's crying, but you cannot sit there. I mean, she was like, eh! Like the biggest, curdling you could hear. And she was just like, well, I need you to sit down. And she sat on the phone with me for a minute. She wasn't a melanated lady, but she sat on the phone with me for a minute. It was just like, I need you just to put the baby down. She was like, was anybody coming? I was like, well, my sister and my mom is coming. So I think my sister beat my mom home, and she just sat there, and she was just like sitting there hugging me because she was just like, I don't know what to do. She was like, maybe I can get her to cry. And she finally got her to sleep. She would not stop screaming unless one of them held her or something. I don't know if they was doing something different, but that is a trigger for postpartum as well. And the psychosis is the confusion. I had the confusion. I couldn't think. I couldn't get it together. My brain wasn't right. I just couldn't go no further. It was like you're running a marathon in your head, but it's not being executed the right way. Like your legs are, yes, moms are. Your legs are not. You're just sitting there. You either sleep too much or you sleep less. I slept too much. I was exhausted. It was just me for a year. I didn't have nobody but my mom, my sister. They would take turns, but essentially it was my child. I had to deal with her. So I had really bad postpartum, and you have it after that year. That year is not that's not just the you have it after that. And then I think it turned into something else because I went to the doctor. I went to the primary doctor, and then he was like, are you okay today? And he was like, that was one of my best doctors. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. And she was still like a toddler. And he was like, I was like, I'm fine. And I think at the time my mom had just had a heart attack or something like that. So it was her heart attack, the baby, the dad wasn't doing shit. And then it was just me. And I was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He said, is there something wrong? I was like, nah, I'm fine. I'm just about to go see my mom. That it transitions over into anxiety, like they tell you. It transitions over into PTSD. And then you'll have the PTSD thought of, I don't want to have a kid again. I'm so traumatized. I refuse to have a kid by anybody. I don't care who you are. I'm not having a baby. I'm not putting nobody else through this. I'm not putting it through myself. My body can't do it. And then you go into all of that, and then it becomes depression.
Yeah.
And it goes over into depression. So that I had years worth of functioning depression. And then the depression, it got worse while I was in school because of the pressure. And then I felt like I was when I had postpartum. So then when you have kids back to back as well, all you do is make yourself have postpartum. And I've seen before women were getting they were putting them on different meds, depression meds, all the depression meds, and then they were having complications with their child from the depression meds, or high blood pressure, or they had other things that were going on. So you might not think you have postpartum, but you do. If you feel like your mind is going and you have and you feel like you have no place to go, and you feel like you're drowning, and you just had a baby, say something. I had every single sign except for I didn't want to put my baby in a bathtub or nothing. Prozac. Yeah, they put you on Prozac. And I don't understand why anybody would be on Prozac pregnant. I don't. Afterwards, yes, but before, people said they had to have some type of medicine before because they felt like they were going to kill themselves. And I can't imagine.
Really a lot. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, you have to pray your way through it. The fact that you could pray your way must be a tough person. But
Yeah.
as a Black woman, they tell you, like, especially when you have old people, like my daughter grandma, she was like, oh, we didn't have that in my time. Lady, I don't care. I am a person
They just didn't identify it as that.
right. I am a person that has studied mental health, and I know when my mental health is off and it's not right, and your son ain't shit to do nothing about it. So I need help, you know? How many diapers am I supposed to change in a day before I get to the point where I'm overwhelmed?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that support systems trigger that too. If you don't have good support, you will be depressed. A lot of women, they moms or their aunts or whatever, they just be like, "What's your baby? You had him. Stick with it." Oh no, India families, they stay with them for like a year or two, just to help.
Other cultures, yes,
Other cultures, they stay with them. Asians,
they're
they
not even allowed to leave the room with that baby for like a period of time.
Yeah. Prozac, I'm against
mentally, exactly. I told y'all know how I feel about medication. I don't agree with them. Do I think some people need them? Yeah, but I do not agree with medication because
see what
there's
they do
always
to
a side effect.
No, it took her years to probably get back to herself because she was probably an emotional wreck. I didn't want medicine because at that time I was giving them out. So my experience is
royalty.
Yeah, my experience is residential. So they state train you to give meds. So the meds that I was given was heavy stuff. Some people was getting like 8 meds of psychotic medicine. I'm not taking that because then that means I'm gonna end up like them. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me.
And then I don't get to go home. Now I gotta stay in here with y'all folks.
Right. So then I'm gonna have to be stuck being here with one of y'all or something like that.
Forbid you want to breastfeed, right? Like I remember when I had my son, I had to get a C-section, and I think what you said about having a doula or a midwife, especially specifically someone that looks like you in those birthing rooms. Like I said, my next kid, I want to have a water birth. Like I need a Black doula. I need somebody that looks like me, that's gonna be patient, that understands, the disconnect of medical treatment that there is for Black women. I remember going into labor with my son and telling him like, "Yo, this shit hurt." And it took them hours before I got approved for medication because, again, as Black women, we're not allowed.
Epidural.
We're making it up. It's all in our mind. We're not really at pain. We don't feel anything. All of those things. It took them hours. And by the time they approved me for medication, I was on my way in the back anyway to go get my C-section. It was horrible. And I had 2 white nurses, and yeah, they were very nice, but I would have felt better if it was people that looked like me. My whole team was white. The doctor, the anesthesiologist, the nurses. I didn't go through postpartum, and I thank God that I did not go through postpartum because honestly, I don't feel like I would have been here if I can be dead honest with you guys, because I had just lost my mother less than a year before I had my son. So imagine like grieving your parents, right? That person that's supposed to be there with you when you have this baby, to now you're a new mom, and I know nothing about being a parent. So I thank God that I didn't go through postpartum, because honestly, again, I do not think I'd be here. I think I would have checked out, because it's like grieving and you don't want this baby and you thinking about harming yourself and you depressed and sleeping, and his dad, had to go back to work and I was out from work. So I'm grateful that I didn't have it. Again, to all the women that have suffered from there, I tilt my hat off for all the women that are on the other side of it now, that came out of it, that survived it, that did not know how they were going to survive it, but you guys did. That is a badge of honor in itself, because again, as Black women and just mental health within the Black community, it's not acknowledged. We are the least treated race of people, of anything across the board when it comes to medical treatment, when it comes to Black people, and especially mothers and the resources that are out there. So I tilt my hat off to you, because I can't imagine like having those thoughts and those feelings. And again, I wouldn't have had that support because my mother had just passed away less than a year prior to that. But it's hard. Yeah, my next kid, I got to do a doula or a Black midwife. I'm glad to see that there's so many more Black people getting into the medical field. I'm so glad about that, because that is important. A study just came out that says that African Americans that are treated by Black doctors live longer. Their health is better. It's way better than us being treated by non-melanated physicians and doctors.
Well, I don't know, because it's a flip side. Like I I have two, like my two chronic illnesses would be considered diabetes and high blood pressure. I had the diabetes when I was pregnant, but way before I got pregnant, I had the diabetes. I acquired the high blood pressure after because my blood pressure spiked so high that I had to get that C-section. But if anybody was paying attention, which I didn't know what was going on, they might have caught it then because I was susceptible to getting it because of family traits. But recently, I seen, as we was talking about, a black cardiologist. As a black, a lot of them on the flip side, they're not listening now either because then they have adapted to the colonizer ways. So I feel like I was almost talking to a white woman. I didn't feel like I was talking to what is supposed to be my sis.
Right.
That support was given. I think we need to screen some of these black people and make sure that they are not doing it for those reasons to colonize us. I didn't like how I wasn't heard. I feel like I'm talking to a white person. I feel like I would get more of attention with an Indian person, which is sad because a lot of them, like my mom have Indian doctors and they're nicer than some of the black ones. But I have a black endocrinologist who does specialize in diabetes. One thing I thought she was going to throw at me was medicine, and she didn't. I thought she was going to give me a list of diabetic medication. She told me, you're too young. You need to work on this and get rid of all of this. So I want to throw medicine at you. She doesn't throw medicine. She doesn't yell at you. She's not talking to you. I've had a white lady in the past, although she was really good, it was just like medicine. Also, like, I was put on lisinopril. I was at work passing out almost. I was driving to work almost passing out. They put me on the highest dose of something to take fluid off of me. Good evening. Take fluid off of me that would make me so dehydrated that I was almost passing out. I was in the shower almost passing out. My husband had to take me out the shower because I could no longer get it together. She was an Asian lady too. She was just like, oh, just take it because, you have to bring down your pressure. But I'm not filled with fluid. I just have high blood pressure. I don't have all those other issues. I'm having high blood pressure problems right now. Again, they don't listen. I feel like any other race besides us is really not going to listen. There are some black people who don't listen, but any other race besides them, they'd be like, oh, well, when it comes to having a baby, maybe you just need to try this, or maybe you just need to know, maybe I need you to support me so that I could push this baby out. Because I had an epidural 5 times because the lady decided to do a student on my back. The student was not able to decipher in between my spine. She wasn't able to get in the middle of my spine. Mind you, I wasn't moving. It hurt, but you can't move or you'll be crippled. So she, instead of just going directly in, she would put the pin to the side because she's a student. She wasn't like well abreast with it.
And I don't feel like this is the time for you to practice, dummy. So now I'm paralyzed, sis. You got, listen, they poked me twice. The first time he was like, oh, I put it in between the discs that was too close together. I'm going to do it again. You do it again and you don't go get it. Go get your boss. You're not going to keep sticking me. Because again, that goes to that pain tolerance that they don't think they think it's just. She was a white lady. All the way up here. You're not going to keep sticking me. You're a student. Go get your boss. Go get the person that's in charge.
She was there, but she still allowed it. And that's when my mom snapped. My mom said, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she was like, well, my student can take care. She said, no, you should have did it. Why would you allow?
Your student can't take care of it. Maybe she don't know what she's doing. She don't even know what she's looking for at this point.
I had 5 prick marks going across the bottom of my spine.
And at any point you would have jumped, you'd have been paralyzed.
Exactly. I was like, it has to be some type of relief because otherwise now you got 2 times and I'm cussing you out. I was young. I was just like, give me some relief because the was just so bad. I couldn't bear it anymore. And I was like, somebody got to help me. You are supposed to study each disc in everybody's spine when you're an anesthesiologist. You're supposed to know veins. You're supposed to know pressure points. You're supposed to know all of that. As a student, yeah, you're learning, but you're the anesthesiologist. And I'm starting to see more black ones. And I couldn't be more happy about this.
Yeah.
More black people. I always say it's good to be a business owner, but we need more doctors. Can we have both?
Can people that look like us to take care of us?
Who else is going to take care of us if we go do other things? We need more engineers. that make the needles or make the machines or make the x-ray and stuff. Like, can we get more people that care about that? So it'll be less like, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Henrietta Lacks, when they took her DNA and used it without her family's consent to study. She single-handedly figured out the cure, not the cure, but like how to lessen the cancer, like the white blood cells or something. They studied her white blood cells and figured out how to slow down the process of cancer. Hi. And they figured that out, and her family is still in litigation trying to figure out how
I'm sure white folks gonna steal everything. That's what they do. They steal everything. They take it down on X. They steal it. They borrow.
And I'm like, did y'all take her? And where did y'all put her body? I don't even think they had a body to even bury. Her blood is still a CDC or something like that. So you can't tell me that all these things that the clear non-melanated people, they steal it. They've used us for gynecology purposes in slavery. They would take the woman
experiment.
They would probe her with pap smears. They would move around her breast. They would try to figure out why her hips were so wide. I mean, the history just goes so far, and it's so pathetic that, reading like this article, it made me cry, because I had all of these symptoms that these women have, and they don't have nothing. Like, and if you really have state insurance, they really don't give a damn about you. Oh, you're just another nigga to them because you got state insurance. You're poor.
What if I had welfare? We don't care about you, child.
You're on welfare. They treat you like a welfare person that you are. They don't care. They don't care for what. You don't need no epidural. It ain't like you're paying for it anyway.
Right. So for those out there that do not know what postpartum look like, that has never kind of experienced it, I want to show a video. It's from the show Blackish. From everybody, I don't know, for people that have watched Blackish, apparently it's a really, really, really good show. And I want to show I think the video is like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, what it looks like.
Something was off with Bo, and it was starting to make me nervous. It was starting to make us all nervous.
So we all know that Dad is an unreliable parent.
Inept, useless,
embarrassing.
And we've all noticed that Mom's been a little off lately.
A little?
I've noticed it too.
Joey, freeze. Where are you going?
A party.
Here's a fun idea. Take your brother. Fun.
I don't know, guys. He seems fine to me.
That's why it's so important we help Mom get back on her feet. We can't let Dad be Devontae's sole provider.
God, no. Nightmare.
Doom.
Pausing you? All right, there we go. So that is a glimpse of kind of what postpartum looks like. Specifically, I wanted to make sure I used the Black woman. Show Blackish is kind of the most stereotypical Black show, but it's a really great show.
It's still
to this day. Yep. Because
where her body though, I don't even know if they took her body and made it government owned. Basically, the government
that's what they want to do. They just
donated her body to
ask permission to do what? Child, that's why we all over here, because they ain't asked permission. They kidnapped us, but that's another conversation for another day. So that is kind of what postpartum looks like.
Yep. That's why I say stick. Yes, right. I learned my lesson. And when my mom flipped. If you meet my mom flipped out bad.
Mind you, her mom is a little old thing. That's the part.
My mom was swing.
Right. And so right. But how many young mothers know that?
Yes, we don't, and they don't tell us that. I'm like 20, I think I was like 24 when I had her. Like 23, 24. I didn't know none of that. And my mom hasn't had a baby. She didn't have a baby in like 23 years at the time. So she didn't think like, she said, you'll be fine. I'm going to just go home. I'm going to eat real fast. This baby ain't coming no time soon. So she was like, I left you. And I'm like, no, they should have known better. That's not on you. That's on them. They should have known better. Yes, that's what it was. Cancer and HIV. Thank you.
Thank you, best friend. That's Byron in the comments. Hey,
hey, Byron.
Yes, look at that.
Yeah,
right?
But I forgot about the HIV part. The fact that it was used for HIV was even
her family.
That's above me, because they didn't even figure out how to make that pill. Is it Truvada or something, like whatever that pill is that they make that's in the commercial? They didn't even just start releasing that pill until, if you watch Pose, it was like the early 90s.
I love that show. I'm so mad it went off. It was a good show.
They hate nature delivery. They do.
They do. They don't make you have a natural delivery.
Yeah, I know a girl who had to fight for natural delivery. They kept shoving it up her, like in her face, and she said, I'm not doing it. She said, my kids will be delivered naturally. And they would not stop.
That's too much work for them. They don't want to earn their paycheck.
Because that means physiologist this.
My son had flipped. He was breached. And I thought they were going to go in and flip him, because I remember my mom telling me that my brother was breached as well. And she said she remembers this doctor with these really big hands who went in. She said it was the most painful shit ever. But he went in and he flipped my brother. And I thought like that's what was going to happen. And they was like, yeah, no, we're going to give
doulas do that.
Doulas do that.
You look at doulas.
I still have my C-section scar, and to this day, my son is 8. He'll be 9 in September. There are still parts on my body that I cannot feel where my C-section scar is.
You will feel it by the time he's like 11. I'm just starting to feel it in that area.
That's insane to me.
And it's only this. It's like this big.
I do hope that by the time I do have another child, whatever, it's not. I don't got too many more years for that. But I do want to do a natural birth. Like I said, I do want to do a water birth. Like I want to do a water birth with a doula. Yeah, put me in a pool, just bathtub, whatever they do.
And let me swim in whatever comes out.
You're not gonna swim in it. You sit in
I'm
it.
a germaphobe. Yeah. I'm a germaphobe. I might get nervous.
Okay, but thank you, Tony. You think about it. When the baby come out, right, and you get all the afterbirth out. I mean, they take the baby out, clean it off, and then you get out the pool. You don't sit in it. It's your stuff. What are you talking about?
I want to sit I don't want to sit in my placenta just swimming by me like a river or some shit. Like I don't want to sit in the fluid.
Shit swimming by you.
Disgusting.
See, thank you, Tony. We here with it at home, please.
Listen, as a sister,
do me like what's her name, Tiana Taylor.
I'm not sticking my hand in that water to get my niece or nephew out.
Yes, the fuck you are. You are.
I'm gonna need surgical
gloves. You are.
I probably am. I'm there. I ain't.
Put some
She
gloves
don't
on.
the baby.
Better put some gloves on.
I'm not. Don't tell me to
get
that.
That's what I'm saying, Tony, because it's ours, baby. We're gonna sit in it. Okay? God created that. He made all things beautiful. The
blood, the fluid,
what do you think
the cord.
Once you push the baby out, when you push that baby out, you're literally sitting.
First of all, I was scared about that.
And you shit on yourself. Some women shit on themselves when they push that baby out. So you are already sitting in that shit because you can't move until after they tell you you can move and clean you up. When you push a baby out, you're technically already sitting in it. What's the difference? At least you got the water, wash it away or something. Come on now. You got to think about it. Come on.
I'm a germaphobe. I wish
I had I wish I could drop a GIF or a meme on here. The one with the black guy. That one.
You're one of them people that's gonna eat your placenta, and that's okay.
I might put it in a smoothie. Now what?
Breast milk is good. It tastes like a latte.
I breastfed.
That stuff was kind of good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I breastfed my son. Sure did.
I pumped milk.
I sure did. I breastfed my son, and my goal is to breastfeed again.
I want to try it again because and another thing that was a part of my program, lactation specialists that look like you. Because when I went to them, these chicks was white. Why are they white? First of all, I'm having trouble with one side. I need you as a black woman to say, sis, we're going to sit down. We're going to get some cookies. I'm going to make you a bowl of oatmeal. I'm going to make it just how you like with some cinnamon and some sugar.
Thank you.
With some milk and some butter. And we gonna do it. I didn't know that oatmeal brings about, makes your milk production. I had to put a blanket or a pacifier because I didn't get sick in the skin. So that part was taken away from me from the C-section. So because I was so messed up, I didn't get that skin to skin. So I had to make that skin to skin take the pacifier. I had to take her blanket. I had to Google all of that on my own. Why would I have to Google that on my own when there could be people like me that come and tell you these are the things that you need to do in order for me to help you get that milk down. There's no such thing that you don't have milk. Everybody has a God-given talent. I mean, a God-given gift of actually having milk given to them. Because Black women, we were feeding breast milk to the.
And that's all I'm saying. That's how you stay healthy, Tony. Tell her.
We were the slaves that was giving their white babies milk. So it's no way that we don't have milk.
Exactly.
Why can't they tell us that? I didn't know there were lactation cookies. I didn't know all of it. These were non-melanated women.
Now, I can't wait to make popsicles with these things. You understand what I'm saying? Pump and dump, baby. Pump and dump. You can make popsicles. I seen it on Instagram. This mom, she was breastfeeding. She just had a baby not too long ago. When he was born.
Yes.
Or so.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah.
I had a latch. My son only latched on one and not the other. I said, you're being discriminatory and I don't like that for you. But she would take and like pump her milk and then she put them in like the little icicle things. And so like when he was teething, you know, these babies, they teeth way earlier than we teethed when we was babies, child. I feel like we was slow or something. I don't know. Yeah, see, Tony, she understand what I'm saying. So popsicles would be her breast milk, and you know, then he get to suck on them and still, you know, get the cold on his gums and stuff. Child, listen, it's so much stuff that I did not know the first time around as a mother that when this next baby, your next niece and nephew, hey babe, placenta me, please put in a smoothie. I'm pumping this milk. This baby gonna be healthy when I tell you. I'm gonna be healthy too. And you know, I breastfed, so I snapped right back. Like I ain't had no stomach. I lost all the pounds that I had.
Or pump milk, your stomach will not land at your knees after you have a baby.
First of all,
please, Black women, I got this as a PSA. We're gonna cut as the professional BS next to my name because I'm trying to transition on to BS. I can't be myself. So cut. This is not the other half of melanated. This is this.
Cut. I don't think that's how this works.
So we're not gonna stop. We're gonna stop. Cut her out. We're gonna focus on me right now.
Oh, baby, cut me out, exclusive.
Please. All right, I'm talking to y'all.
On my own show.
As my women, as my sisters.
Please. So you want to take me off the screen and you just want to be on the screen?
Yeah. Just,
all right, well, whoever's backstage, take me off the screen so she can say whatever she needs to say to these Black women.
This is on my spirit. This is on my spirit.
I feel like they're not going to cut you out.
He probably not. But look, listen to the camera. Look into the camera, baby. If you don't have a C-section, wear a girdle, okay?
Oh my God.
See these stomachs that fall too low.
Oh my God.
They say, oh, it's natural. Oh, it's this.
I didn't approve this message.
Postpartum from your body not stepping back. Listen, I was heavy.
Stop blaming them kids going into your body.
Listen, I was heavier than I am now. I was like 260. I'm like 230 now. My stomach was not that big after I had her because I put on a pair of tight jeans because I had stitches and I had staples. If you cannot do one or the other, put you on a pair of tight jeans that you had before pre-baby. Suck all that
that's how you get
comes down. Huh?
That's how you get a yeast infection.
No, it's not. Not that tight. It wasn't that tight. Put on something that'll suck that in and take that fluid out.
That shit gotta hurt, bro. You just had a C-section.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It don't hurt.
The stitches dissolve and the staples ain't that bad. So what it'll do is
I know.
It'll squeeze all of that water that's in there, child, and it'll bring it on down. And if you were just lucky enough to be able to push out, you know, the bottom half of your body, what I'm gonna need you to do is get you a old lady girdle. I mean, an old lady girdle, like the one that our grandmoms used to give our moms. The one that she had in old lady, the Gone with the Wind movie, and she said tighter, mammy, tighter. That's because mammy had the knee up and said, get you one of them. Get you one of them. Not waist trainer, girdle, the snap joint. Put that up to the top, and that will definitely come down.
You tripping, Tony.
Put a girdle on. Thank you. Yes, good sis. Put a girdle on and detox your body from all of that fluid. Because I see a lot of girls when they have a baby, they be swollen at the face and everything. I was a big girl, but I wasn't like that bad after a while. My stomach went down. I never had like a huge stomach that dropped to my knees. But I know a few girls and I know a couple people, they stomach be like,
child, she said,
girl, I be trying to tell y'all. I be trying to put y'all on real quick.
Don't love her because she not funny.
Yes, I am. I'm telling you, it will take that stomach down. That'll take a one load off of that postpartum. I had swollen feet. I had shoes on. I put my regular shoes on and the fluid went down automatically. Automatically. Drink you some water. Don't be eating KFC and Popeyes and shit. Don't do that. Breastfeed and eat some broccoli after you had these babies. Drink a smoothie. You can drink the placenta tablet. I just had to break from that because it was on my spirit. Because I see a lot of girls, they be like, oh my God, I gotta unbig my back. I gotta deflate my stomach. Since you had that baby and started automatically eating bad stuff, stop it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Give these babies some nourishment, like some broccolis or something. You could be a big girl, nothing wrong with it. But be a big, healthy girl, though. You know, eat smoothies, kale, broccoli, walk your ass off. Yes, I walked. You know, I had postpartum, so I had to walk some stress off. So I walked. Put my clothes on. Automatically in 2 weeks after doing that and pumping milk, my stomach went right back down. Mm-hmm. Ooh, to what? Kale or broccoli? Because, girl, I don't like broccoli like that. That's one vegetable I can't do it. Can't get with it. I can't get jiggy with that. I'm sorry. Mm-mm. All right, go ahead. PSA over. I'm good. That was on my spirit because we was just looking at somebody with a big stomach after having a baby. You know what I'm talking about.
Don't drag me into this. This is not a melanated vibration approved message.
No.
Yes,
the same thing I was looking at. Her stomach was big and her back was big. We just trying to help the girls out. You know? Byron was there. He know what we talking about. Listen, I'll talk. Y'all want some more gems from me?
No. So anyway, because what the fuck? Where do we go? How do we get here? So this is what happened when she started drinking. That's why we don't let little baby drink. That's why we keep little baby in the corner because.
Listen, no, it was on my spirit. That means God gave it to me to give it to y'all.
I don't think that's what God meant. I love all vegetables too, Tony, and I love broccoli. She tripping. I know it's a man-made vegetable, but I love me some broccoli. Okay, take me some.
No, God gave it to me to give to y'all. He put it on my spirit.
Don't drag God into this.
God said it too.
When?
Because when girls say, I got to unbig my back, your back would be unbig if you stop eating Popeyes. Child, I'm screaming, big backs. Yes, he did. Don't do me. Don't do me like
the person you talking about looked like a silverback gorilla, but that's neither here nor there. And I do hope she's listening. So anyway, let's move on because you're not going to drag me into this pettiness. I don't like that for you. So
when she turned his camera off, don't believe that.
You're absolutely right, big exclusive. That was not nice. Shame on you, Adairess. Jesus.
Y'all wrong. Y'all want to name of the Lord. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, how does postpartum depression affect the Black community? Because that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, postpartum depression affects mothers and parents of every race and ethnicity. However, research has shown through a trusted source that
they did a study and it does. Men do have
residual of what women have. You gotta remember, because I'm petty too. That's why I don't tag in, because what's her name? Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I'm going straight to hell.
They go low, I go to hell.
Straight to hell. We're going straight down. Not going to the upper room, going to other place. So with men, even men experience like symptoms of like that women experience during the pregnancy. Some men may pick up weight, their appetite may change, they may sleep more or less sleep. So men do experience kind of really all of the symptoms that women experience during their pregnancy. It just shows up a little differently. Mm-hmm. Research shows that, it affects every race and ethnicity, but studies show that Black people who give birth are more likely to experience a number of childbirth-related complications, including postpartum depression. Not only are Black mothers and parents at a higher risk of developing postpartum depression, but they're also disproportionately affected by the conditions. In one study from, oh wow, he always was nauseous. I can't imagine. I had dizzy spells. It was the weirdest thing, child. I love hot showers, and I gained weight before I did. Oh wow. I fell out the tub one time. Like my son dad, like I love hot showers and I always did. I was like, oh girl, you cooking this baby. I didn't know, right? So I'm taking my regular hot shower while I'm pregnant, and I feel myself like getting lightheaded and woozy. And so I'm calling for my son's dad, and literally, I think this is when he was doing photography. He had his camera in his hand, and literally, I swear to God, I fell over. So fine, he was damn. I literally swear I was falling out the shower like the Tower of Pisa. I swear to God I was, and he caught me. He had to hurry up, put his camera down, and caught me as I was falling out the shower. Like, it was bad. I had dizzy spells. I had dizzy spells for probably the first. I think I was well pregnant about it, but it was a few months in the pregnancy that I had dizzy spells. So it was bad, child. Y'all don't be knowing what we go through as women trying to give birth to these beautiful children. Childbirth is the closest thing to death.
It
Y'all
is.
won't understand. It is.
I thought I was dying.
It is. It is literally the closest thing to death. So not only are Black mothers and parents at a higher risk of developing postpartum depression, but they're also disproportionately affected by the conditions. In one study from 2020, a trusted source, researchers explored the racial and ethnic differences in people who sought hospital-based care for postpartum depression. According to one study results, Black women are more likely to end up in the hospital for postpartum depression than any other racial or ethnic group. They just want to take it to the extreme with us when they do decide to believe us. Another study from 2022, trusted source, explored the connection between trauma during childbirth and the risk of developing postpartum depression. Results of this study found that not only did Black people experience the highest level of childbirth trauma, but these traumatic experiences were significant risk factors in developing postpartum depression. One of the reasons Black people are disproportionately affected by postpartum depression is because of the barriers to mental health care that Black communities face. Again, there is a shortage, there is a lack of it. Factors such as a lack of access to services and racial bias from healthcare professionals, among many others, can make it difficult for Black women and mothers to get the care that they need. And even when Black mothers and parents seek treatment for symptoms of postpartum depression, they may not always get the diagnosis they need for the treatment. In fact, recent research has shown that minority parents were not only less likely to receive a diagnosis of postpartum, but were also less likely to receive a timely diagnosis if they were diagnosed at all. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So, we're not acknowledged. Our pain is not acknowledged. And here we are as Black women. I do have one last video that I wanted to show about postpartum and the risk for Black women. Just for those that, again, have not experienced, for any men out there, maybe don't know what it looks like or have experienced it with, their child's mother. Here we go.
Pregnancy and birth are life-changing experiences for all mothers. But what happens to the mother emotionally can be confusing, frustrating, and lead to mental health issues like postpartum depression and the baby blues. Up to 20% of women experience a perinatal, which is the time before and after birth, mood disorder, like anxiety or depression. Black women are twice as likely to have a perinatal mood disorder and are more likely to develop postpartum depression than women of other races. This is the case largely because of the stigma and lack of awareness about mental health issues within the Black community. Hormonal changes in our bodies after birth can lead to emotional and mental health issues unique to Black mothers. Physical pain often intensifies these emotions, and without the right support, can lead to postpartum depression. The baby blues are a period of general sadness or depression that happens after giving birth, which is very normal, but it can often lead to a perinatal mood disorder like postpartum depression. Black women tend to live in communities underserved by mental health resources. This means that we need to support Black mothers in our communities to help them get the treatment that they need to be the best moms they can for their new babies.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Ain't it? So yes, unfortunately, Black women are, as they say, the most disrespected race of women in the United States, in the world. Not even just the United States, but I live in the United States. In the world. Push, I literally passed out from all the pain and pushing, giving birth is definitely closest. Seriously, your body goes through so many different things. Your blood pressure skyrockets. Things drop. Like I remember them hooking me up to a monitor because my son's heart rate it really is the closest thing to death. Shout out to all the moms out there, the moms that's doing it by themselves, the moms that has help. Shout out to just mothers, period. But we're the most disrespected woman in the world. We are not allowed to have pain. We're not allowed to show fear. We're not allowed to do anything. We're not taken serious when we do. And unfortunately, within the Black community, there is so much that lacks when it comes to mental health and mental illness. We're not taken serious. And when we are, they just want to prescribe medication and no one wants to get to the root cause. So to anyone out there that may have recently had a baby and is still dealing with postpartum, I am sending lots of love, positive energy, and prayers out to you guys. You can hit me up on melanated_vibrations on Instagram if you need to talk. That's what we're here for. Join us every week on Melanated Vibrations as we educate the Black community. It was really important for me to start May off with this. Like once my sister told me what her program was and what she was doing, I was like, yeah, that's what we talk about the next episode. Like that's it, right? Because I think it's important. I think that we lack so many resources in our community that we need to learn to talk about all of the things that our community faces. And so with this Mental Health Awareness Month, we are going to dive into more things like this. We're going to talk about domestic violence. We're going to talk about people that are survivors of domestic violence. I hate the word victims. We're going to talk about survivors on both ends, both men and women. Mm-hmm. We are going to dive into some things of the LGBT community. We are going to dive into anything that encompasses what mental health awareness means and how it has an impact and effect on us as Black and brown people. I think it is important that we educate ourselves, that we educate others. We gotta be on top of our game because nobody else cares about us, right? So somebody has to care about us and we have to start with us. So any last words for the good people, sis?
My only thing is that if you are suffering with depression from this, say something, reach out. We here, say something. Don't be alone because it'll end up being worse. Then you'll have years of depression. Don't let it go like that. If you just had a baby, ask, hey, I need an hour without this baby.
I love babies. I come watch the babies.
The smell of babies.
Yes, we love babies over here.
My daughter loves babies.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
my son keeps asking for a sibling. He probably ain't gonna get one. But seriously, if you need help.
So if you need help, don't ever be afraid to say something. Always say something.
Just know you're not alone. You're not the only person that is struggling with this. There are so many women, so many Black women on a day-to-day that struggle with this. Big exclusive, I'm not taking you serious right now. Just make sure you have my party on Saturday. There's so many Black and brown women that need
Patty.
Y'all knew I was Patty. So many Black and brown women that need help. It's so many women that are crying out for help, and we just looking at them like, oh, shake that shit off. You doing too much. You don't want to be a mom. You don't want to do nothing. Some of them really just can't. It does take a village. Tony, what I say? No, that's my sister. It's my sister. We can't.
All right.
We can't together.
That's all I got.
Loyalty. What you thought this was? Big exclusive? What? You thought she was gonna help you in my face? You could have asked her, DM'd her that. Don't say that in my face. What's wrong with you? But seriously, if you are suffering with this, say something. You're not the only person. One, we should get shirts that say that. We should get shirts that say that.
Why I gotta be 3 patties?
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Yes, say something if you need help. The resources are out there. If you cannot find them, please reach out to us. I love you guys. I cannot wait to see what Mental Health Awareness Month brings us. Don't forget to wear your green. Again, don't forget to show someone some grace. You never know the silent battles that people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So before we are so quick to judge and be so judgmental, let us learn to show people grace, because there is someone out there that has shown us grace, even when we didn't deserve it. We love you guys. Thank you for joining Melanated Vibrations. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture. Join us as we delve into our individual mental health and overall mental health of our community. From the latest trends to the timeless coping mechanisms, we'll showcase the best of what it means to be mentally healthy.